Upon meeting a beautiful lady, always ask for her name and profession. That's one of my rules. My name is Iris. I am but a simple nun undergoing training at Hazakura Temple.
Witness, is there something you want to confess to?
Yes, but first I want to apologize to Mr. Wright. I can't continue lying to everyone anymore. It's alright, what is it? Mr. Wright, I have to admit that I did play a part in this terrible incident.
Are you actually confessing? Are you saying that you were the one who murdered Miss Elise Donim?
No, I'm not, Your Honor, but I dealt with the cover-up after the murder took place. After her spirit left, I took the lifeless shell of Mystic Elise and carried it to the Hazakura Temple courtyard where I desecrated it.
What? Order in the court. Order. Witness, are you saying you are an accomplice to the murder?
Yes, I'm afraid I am.
Iris, don't do that. You're supposed to be my client. I'm supposed to be defending you. Shit. Ha, everyone on the planet is an accomplice to something. It just so happens to be that in this case, it's to murder. What do you mean everyone on the planet, Godot? What are you talking about, dude? That Godot. So this is the confession they were conferring about. It pains me to say this, but it looks like Iris's testimony was all a lie. Iris's testimony and crumpled up and shoved into a pocket. That's gotta be one of the funniest lines of text in the game. Oh my god. Now then, little lady. Whose crime were you trying to cover up by your actions? Doing the judge voice for Godot by mistake. Now I'm definitely up Shit's Creek without a paddle or a life jacket.
I've been at Hazakura Temple ever since I was a little girl. Hazakura Temple is run by one of the branch families of the Kurai tradition. One of our missions is to protect the family.
I'm sorry, but main family?
Yes, and that's why I would dirty myself if need be to protect her. The daughter of the master of the Kurai channeling technique, Maya Fey.
So why would you kill Maya's mother to protect Maya? It don't make no sense. She's naming Maya! I'm not gonna scream, because I'm just gonna do like a half scream there. So not only did you witness the murder, you know the name of the murderer. Wait, she's naming Maya as the murderer, and what the fuck? That doesn't make no sense. Maya wouldn't kill her own mother. But they don't know that Misty... Well, first of all, they don't know Elise's real name is Misty, and that second of all, they don't know Misty is Maya's mother, so I'm spoiling that right now. Those are the two things that we're gonna, like, clear up with the courtroom in the next 20 minutes. Clear up with the courtroom, you know?
Yes, Your Honor. I thought I was prepared for the unexpected, but this is Ace Attorney. You're never prepared.
This is freaking Ace Attorney, man. The real murderer was not Maya. Could never have been Maya. Not even if she was sleepwalking. I'm sorry. I went to the inner temple that night and saw it all happen in the garden. I saw Mystic Elise strike Mystic Maya with her staff. While Mystic Maya was still stumbling, Mystic Elise moved in to deliver a fatal strike. Mystic Maya tried desperately to defend herself and stole the weapon. It was only in self-defense. You can't blame her. So it was in self-defense? Yes. Mystic Elise was the one who attacked first. That's why I tried my best to protect Mystic Maya. You moved the victim's body to the temple so that Maya wouldn't be suspected. Isn't that right, trite? Not bad. You've got the instincts of a true criminal. Something's not quite right. I'm sure it was established yesterday that Iris never went to the inner temple that night, and that the person who did go was that woman. Iris even admitted it. Did she? Did she actually talk about channeling spirits? Or is he just talking about during our investigation? Yeah.
Not during the court session, just during our investigation. So, she moved in to deliver a fatal strike? Yes, I'm sure of it. She threw down her staff and reached into her robe for a weapon. Wait a minute, what was this weapon? Some kind of dagger. Is this a dagger I see before me? To kill Miss Fey? Yes, exactly. Ha. You look like I did after I mistakenly took a swig of Worcestershire sauce. Do you have a problem with the testimony we're hearing from your client? Lawyer boy. Do I have a problem with Iris's testimony? No. Your Honor, I have a small problem with the witness's testimony. You do? But this witness is your own client. Yes, and she's implicating herself as an accomplice to the crime. I'm not gonna let that happen. Yes, sir. Hey, just a moment. It's my job to say that. Well, it's my job to drink the coffee. Final judgment will be rendered by me. I hate how all their grunts are, like, written out phonetically. It's so... It makes me feel so stupid reading it and it just going, So, you're trying to say she used a dagger when she had a sword. It makes no sense. Plus, she owned a sword. She had a sword, and it would have made more sense to use that sword, you silly Billy. Naturally, you wouldn't know this, Sister Iris, but the victim's staff had a special feature about it. Phoenix has a deep voice now. As you can see, it's a sword. If Elise Stoneham had really wanted... Oh my god. If Elise Stoneham had really wanted to kill Maya Fey, she wouldn't have used the dagger, not when she already had a beautiful blade. Because the sword is beautiful, because it's longer. Is this phallic logic? The logic of sex? No, I'm kidding. That was an impressive bit of investigating, Trite. But even so, how should I put this? A long sword is unwieldy. Yeah, the big ones hurt. Maybe that's why she chose a dagger over her blade. Well... Anyway, the type of sex toy, weapon she chose to use isn't important. The most important thing is that she tried to kill Maya Fey. As long as there's nothing strange about that, it doesn't matter what people do in the privacy of their own bedroom. There is something strange. Well, Mr. Wright, the prosecution has a point. Very well, Your Honor. The defense will now present evidence to back its argument. Mr. Wright, Mr. Wright, we're singing in the rain. Elise Stoneham would never attempt to take the life of Maya Fey, and now all we have to do is prove her real name. I like how her profile in the roster is still under the fake name. Like, that makes no sense. If you're a lawyer and you're in a courtroom and you know the real name of somebody, why would they be in your files as the fake name? No, not Misty Fey. Who is this Misty Fey? When the judge makes that, like, wide-eyed face and, like, with his very round... Yeah, that right there. His very round, bald face. He looks like the, I don't know if it's, like, a grandpa or just an old guy, but it's from, like, that Lego City Builder game. I don't even know the name of that game. I just know it from the memes. It's that old Lego building game. The one with the brick by brick song. You know the one. And there's like an old guy with a big mustache. Big round eyes. However, in light of some facts that have just been presented. 1. That the victim supposedly threw away a sword during a fight. 2. That the two people battling to the death were daughter and mother. Despite the facts being believable on their own, when taken together, the entire story seems difficult to believe. Unless, of course, it was a psychotic mother, or there was some kind of bad relationship between mother and daughter. But in this case, there isn't, so, you know.
In a real court of law, that would be taken as a possibility, and we would have to try and disprove that, I think. That's just my opinion. I heard this witness's confession this morning. You can't always assume that someone has a good relationship with their parents. Oh, and here, I missed a good joke about how many cups of coffee that Godot had drank. He discovered this little beauty. Stop calling swords beautiful. It's like, come on. Is this a dagger I see before me? It's my favorite Shakespeare play, by the way, if you can name what that's from. I think I've changed my mind a couple times on what my favorite Shakespeare play is, but I have now decided it is now that one. I'll give you a hint. It's the one whose name you can't say because it's supposedly bad luck in a theater. This dagger was stuck in the backside of the pine tree when the last blow was struck, ending the violent battle between the two women. This little baby was thrown in the direction of the back of the pine tree, which means the blood on this dagger belongs to the victim, correct? Ha! Were you even listening, old man? I first heard this confession this morning, just as I had taken the first sip of my 13th cup of morning coffee. Didn't you just say it was your 8th a few minutes ago? I didn't have enough time to get the blood analyzed on such short notice. In any case, the court will accept the dagger as evidence. Furthermore, I order that a blood test be performed on it immediately. This is my sweetheart. Make sure you treat her right. Bailiff, get this piece of evidence to the crime lab for testing immediately. Now then. The testimony we've just heard had numerous unbelievable aspects to it. However, after having found the very dagger, I believe we can consider her testimony to be credible. Cute girls never lie, ever. Shut up, Godot. That's not true. Especially Dahlia Hawthorne. She lied all the time. About what, Your Honor? About the incident you saw. The battle between the two women. Yes, Your Honor. Or what about Amber Heard? She was like a beautiful lady and she lied, I think. I don't know. Mystic Maya stumbled briefly after being hit over the head with a staff, but then she dodged Mystic Elise's next attack and stole her weapon. Suddenly, Mystic Elise was the one on the defensive with her back to the stone lantern. That's when Mystic Maya stabbed Mystic Elise. Mystic Elise managed to fling the knife away, but then she collapsed. That was a very heartbreaking story. I don't know if there were any bad feelings between them, but it had been 17 years since Mystic Misty's disappearance. Perhaps they simply didn't recognize each other anymore. That seems reasonable. Now then, Mr. Wright, proceed with your cross-examination. Okay. The way that we want to do this first cross-examination is realize that her story implies that Maya stabbed her in the front, or the stomach, or whatever, and then present the autopsy report that explicitly states that she was stabbed in the back. There we go. However, the testimony you just gave contains quite a few contradictions. Contradictions? You mean contrapoints? I don't know what I'm on about. Amaya Faye stabbed the victim while she had her back to the stone lantern, correct? No, incorrect. In that case, the victim would have been stabbed in the stomach, right? Yeah, I think so. But, according to the autopsy report, the cause of death was due to blood loss from a stab wound in her back. Ah. I hate when they just go, ah. I never know how to give that the proper voice acting, give it the proper emphasis. Sometimes I feel like it's just lazy writing. I know just a few seconds ago I complained about the written out, the written out moans and groans, and the written out stuttering in the last episode. People are like books. They all got a front and a back. Yeah, the other day my friend was complaining about that stupid saying, opinions are like buttholes. Everyone has one. It's so stupid. Could you please knock it off with the cheesy proverbs? The point is, too much of this testimony doesn't make sense. Of course, there's the full version of that saying, which makes it make more sense. Opinions are like buttholes. Everyone has one and they all stink. Well, Iris, how about it? Well, it's just, if you ask me, you're just being too naive about the whole thing. What do you mean? I gotta sniff this coffee. Experience the aroma. There are 253 distinct types of bitterness in coffee, but to pick out each one requires total concentration and use of all the senses. I have no idea if that's actually true. I doubt it is, honestly. I know about polyphenols. I know that coffee has polyphenols and phenolic compounds, which are like polyphenols, except they aren't. Okay, I'm getting off track. I'm not talking about the actual game that's in front of me. By the way, did you know Hazakura has a rule that on nights when an acolyte is at the inner temple training, the stone lantern in the garden must be kept lit. That's why all the parties there are lit. No, stop. Well, if that's true, shouldn't the witness have been able to see the crime more clearly? Normally, yes, Your Honor, but according to the head nun, Sister Bikini, on the night of the crime, it was impossible to light that stone lantern. Impossible! That's an old meme. It needs to die. In other words, it had to have been nearly pitch black in the garden that night. There could have been a faint light coming from the training hall, but that's all. Most enlightening. Oh, goodness. Yes, that illuminating fact has chased all the contradictions away. If the staff was dropped, it would be difficult to see. It also explains why they didn't recognize each other. We can't see the demons that lurk in the night. That's why humans are weak. Isn't that right, Trait? No! Order. Here, Your Honor. Let me present the stone lantern into... This is so stupid to me. What, do they just take the entire lantern, just carry it down, and haul it into the courtroom? It's got to be a heavy thing. And here they're talking about it at, like, the judge is looking at it, which implies that they did do that, which is so stupid. I can't... You couldn't do that unless you had, like, a moving van or something. I'm getting off track again. Written in blood? What's the matter, Godot? You can't see? Oh, I love this moment. It says, I am. What the... Oh, yes, that's right. I love how Godot's angry animation, and there's, like, little lines of smoke going up. It makes it look like his face is being grilled. Because the lines on his mask are like the lines on a grill. So it's like, hey, you want some burgers with that Godot face? Deep-voiced Godot. Hang on just a minute. What are you all talking about? What do you mean, what are we all talking about? Are you fucking stupid? We're talking about the message written in blood. Nonsense! This lantern, it's as clean as a whistle. Could it be? He's the opposite of a bull? He can't see red? Now that I think of it, he did say something to me yesterday. My eyesight is pretty messed up. Even with these huge goggles on my head, I still can't see everything. So instead of Red Bull, he's everything but Red Bull. That's terrible. Colorblind bull. There we go. Well, because dogs are colorblind. So maybe he's a dog. I don't think it's colorblind, though. I think he can see everything but red. I don't know. I have to ask the writers of this game, but they're probably in Japan somewhere, and I can't speak Japanese, so... Okay, then, let's move on. Godot is literally shaking, and somehow I don't think it's from caffeine overdose. By the way, Godot is also a game engine. I was watching a video of somebody developing their little game in Godot. It's cool. I couldn't be a game developer because like coding involves like so much math and physics and shit like that. So I don't know. I could maybe be a game writer or a game composer or a game playtester, but programming, no, I don't think I could. So I thought it was my duty to protect the future master of the Quran tradition. So I removed the body from the temple. I just dragged it all the way across Dusky Bridge. I'm sorry, I can't read. I can't read. I'm illiterate. That's such a cool shot. That's like a painting. Just the hair and the snow. It feels like a, what's that guy's name? Kurosawa. It feels like a Kurosawa film. Yes, I was raised at Hazakura Temple. I've only seen one Kurosawa film. I know nobody's gonna watch this and nobody's gonna care, but I watched Rashomon with my friend who knows a lot more about like kind of the classic like. He knows a few, like, Kurosawa films and a few, like, Italian films. I don't know. You were spotted by the head nun, correct? Yes. And that's why I couldn't go back. Your story makes sense, I suppose. Because you can watch Kurosawa and be like, oh, I know so much about foreign films now. But, like, I don't know. I still feel like film bros always talk about, like, the same couple of films when they're talking about like, oh, what's the greatest film ever made, you know? It's silly. I don't even want to try to explain my taste in movies. It's too specific. Then I used the snowmobile to carry it back to... I'm just kidding. It's not specific. I like a lot of different movies, but the ones that are my like top favorites, I have a very kind of niche... I like a specific criteria for movies that I like. And I don't want to try to explain it, because it would be too hard to explain. There should be tracks left in the snow, right? Well, yes, naturally you would expect tracks. This picture was presented at yesterday's trial. Are these the tracks from that ride? Yes. I sounded like Talking Ben just then. Yes. I don't see what's so strange about that. Snow was still falling when I left Hazakura Temple. I see, snow was still falling, huh? And then when the murder took place, the murder, it had already stopped. The murder. Saying murder in Scottish accent is so fun. And doing a Scottish accent, ugh, it's so hard. It's so hard to say murder. That's such a hard accent. Oh my god. I'd like the statement Iris just made added to the testimony. But does it have something to do with the case? All will be made clear if you allow her statement to be added to the record. Ha! This should be fun. Let's get the snow business cleared up. There's no business like snow business, like no business I snow. Well, some Christmas song was going through my head earlier today. I can't remember what it was, but if I remember what it was, then it's going to keep going through my head, which will be even more annoying. You claimed that the snow had already stopped when the murder occurred, but I'm sorry, Iris. Simply having a wonderful Christmas time. No, it wasn't that. I unironically like that song. I know so many people are like, oh, that's such a bad song. They like make fun of Paul McCartney for like, oh my god, Beatles man wrote a bad song. But I kind of unironically like that song. It's goofy, but it's charming. You don't mean to say you didn't know about it? It was because of that lightning strike that the bridge burned down. What? But it can't be. Tune in next time for more shenanigans.